Test case means basically it is a scenario or a requirement to test the step by step procedure. Actually, in order to test something, we have a step by step procedure to test that particular scenario. That is the test cases actually. So there are different kind of a test case design technique, like error guessing, value boundary analysis, then equivalence partition, stage transition diagram, then use case testing. Actually, in error guessing technique, what will happen, example, if user give an input to the application in a such a way that the application is supposed to throw an error. Example, take an example, what I will show. There is a input box. Okay, so 1 minute. Assume that there is an input box username. What you guys are able to see now?
Ready to
Notepad on.
Notepad only. Sure. Not one. Yeah. Assume that there is a input box, username input box. So it will take only what to call strings, only alphabet only. If user gives an apart from the alphabet, like number, character, or sorry, like number or special character or anything decimal, so application should throw an error exactly, like invalid email, whatever. Basically error guessing means you are guessing exactly the input which you are giving, it should give an error actually based on your guess or experience. Sometimes people will call as a experience kind of testing only, actually error guessing. Then we have a boundary value analysis testing. Just I'm giving brief description who don't know exactly, but in order to automate, at least people should know how to design a test cases. Actually, if they are know how to execute a manual test cases, then they can same thing can be automated by through script actually. So at least they should know how to design test case and how to execute. Actually, that's the reason I'm giving just brief what to call introduction about this manual, like how to. Then boundary value analysis design testing technique also we have. So for example, if your input range between A to B, then we design as test cases by selecting a a plus 1, a minus 1 to b, b plus 1, then b minus 1 exactly. Assume that there is an input box, so which what to call, which accept the input from like 100 to 200. Assume take any banking application, so you wanted to transfer some amount. Assume that there will be the amount input box, how much amount you wanted to transfer. There will be, assume that there is a max limit, like some two what to call 2 lakh, 3 lakhs or max, and minimum is 100 rupees you have to transfer. So in that case, we will design a test cases by selecting 99, 100, then 101, 2, 200, 201, then 199. If you see, if you put all these input values, 6 values, so your entire requirement will cover. And near the boundary, there are chances of developer missing what you call less than or equal to, greater than or equal to. We are covering near the boundary. So if you see this by selecting these what you call input by boundary values test case direct, we cover the entire requirement. Even though if you 99 expect is invalid, actually you're covering near. Our requirement is like input box should accept only 100 to 200. If you, for example, developer chances are missing a equal what to call less than or equal to, sorry, 100 greater than or equal to. If you put greater than 100, won't be accepted actually. So we are covering near the boundary. So if with respect to these inputs, we can cover the entire requirement. So these are a test case design techniques actually, just I given basics. So again, state transition is there. Actually, there are some applicational exhibits based on the current state, previous state, or previous state, or in future test, actually based on the application. Though it based on the requirement to require, we can use those technique also to write a test cases. Actually, use case test casing technique also it is there exactly. So based on the use case, we can derive the test cases from there also. Then one more test case that technique is like equivalence partition testing. Equivalence partition testing, how we will do, right? As per the if there is an input range between A to B, then we select the one invalid input and two invalid input. For example, it is there is no standard rule for equivalence partition testing. It depends on the you how can derive the actually input. 100, assume that 100 to 200 it is their input box, so we can select by one valid to sorry two invalid, one valid will select. 100 to 200 you can select input any input, so like 150 also you can select, 140 also you can select. It depends on the you. There is no standard rules. And two invalid you can select, either you can select 99 or 201 also you can select. This is a what to call equivalence partition testing exactly.
Sorry to interrupt you. Can you write down the basic definition as well? I think this would be helpful later.
Yeah, so what do you mean we want? Yep, yeah, sure, I will start
A
writing those.
definition.
Okay, yep. Yep, I'll start writing, or tomorrow I'll write those things what it means, then I'll give exactly what it means, boundary input example. Yeah, these are test case design techniques actually. So once you write a test case, once you got a build, so you'll start executing based on the what you call test cases actually. Then after if actual result and expected result are not matching, then you make a test case is a fail, or then you can raise a defect or bug actually. So once you raise the bug, everything testing is done, then you send the report to the what you call higher management or release, whatever the current status, how many test case executed, passed, failed, and blocked actually. So this is a just basic test life cycle, how it will happen exactly. So now you executed, build everything, you send report to your manager or test lead. So now again you will get the next build actually. Again you are executing same test cases, same thing, whatever the what to call requirement we have decided actually. Each release by release we are executing same test cases by adding some new features actually. So now in order to do what to call repetitive tasks to stop, so we have to come into the picture of automation testing. Why we require automation testing actually? So the main concern is automated testing, like we are keep doing a repetitive task again and again exactly. That is the one thing. So before doing automation testing, what are the scenario we need to consider exactly to consider before doing automation testing? So first you should check what are the scenario I can automate actually, which are the repetitive tasks I'm daily executing, keep daily. As soon as I got these many what to call test case I will doing daily, I have to execute it before doing a testing exactly, like sanity testing, smoke testing, those kind of things. Basically you have to execute these things as soon as you got actually. You have to decide first why scenario need to consider for automation. For example, if you wanted to start a automation freshly or scratch, what are the scenario you need to consider? First you have to identify the tool. First you have to let me check. First you have to identify the scenario, what are the things you are keep doing repetitive. After that, once you identify, you have to check whether I can these things automate or not actually, whether I can automate or not. If I can automate, which tool I can use to automate these things, and which language I can use to automate, and whether it is paid or open source actually. We have to decide these things, whether a company is able to paid or open source, and which language I can do, which tools I can use exactly. Then yeah, these things you need to consider before any project. If you're starting from scratch, first you should identify the scenario, what are the scenario you are repetitively executing. After identifying scenario, you have to think whether I can automate or these or not. If I can automate, which tool I can use available market. If whether I can use open source or a paid tool. If I can use the open source, and which language, and what is the user base. How can, if I stuck somewhere, whether it is easy to what to call somebody can help, and I can proceed with the further without stacking the work actually. If it is a paid version, you should ask company whether company is willing to pay the what you call money for that particular tool. Then how tool is what you call support from uh, vendor, how it is there exactly. You have to decide these consideration actually before the automation exactly tool. Now we'll come to the you decided a tool. Assume that you decided a tool, Selenium automation tool actually. There are so many automation tools available in the market. Exactly, Selenium is there, qtp is there, uft is there, renorex is there. These are a different tool actually. So Selenium will support web and mobile, renorex will support desktop only. Exactly. Then qtp will support what you call desktop applications only. These are a different automation tool. So you have to think what is your requirement exactly with respect to the while choosing the automation tool. If it is a web application, then companies are not ready to pay, you can automate, then you can go with the any open source tools actually. Again, one more tool is there, sahi. Also sahi, this also you can do with the web, and these are all paid source only actually. Sahi is also paid, renrex is also paid, qtp is also paid. Here open source is only Selenium exactly. What do you mean by open source actually? Open source means people can use free of cost actually without paying the money to the software vendor or who developed actually. Anybody can use these things actually. Open source, that's the reason it will call as a open source exactly. So now we selected the tool of a Selenium exactly. Then we'll discuss about what is the advantages of a first we'll decide Selenium types actually. What are there are now right now available in the market is a Selenium. Four types of available actually. One is a Selenium ID is there, Selenium RC is there, Selenium web driver is there, then Selenium. This is grid component. These are the four components of a Selenium actually. This Selenium ID is what it used to basically record and playback exactly. Whatever you are doing in web application, for example, if you are launching the web log into the application, same thing it will record and playback actually. This record and playback Selenium. If somebody's don't have any knowledge on how to start automation tools or how to don't know how to do this, do the Selenium record and playback. But in real time, it doesn't help exactly. It is same thing, you have to modify so many things while executing the test case according to your requirement. This record and playback doesn't help actually. So just for it is a learning purpose, how can we can do automate. If you don't know how to do, just you can record and modify the script little bit how you want. That time it will help actually. One more is a Selenium RC component actually. Here this is also, it will help little bit some Selenium script it will use exactly. This is also real time, no help exactly in Selenium RC. And as of now we are using the Selenium web driver actually. This Selenium web driver is a main nowadays it is a famous actual. People who are automating with respect to help of Selenium, people is the Selenium web driver. And one more component is a Selenium grid. Selenium grid is a like distributed way of execution. For example, assume that there are 10 systems or 10 devices they wanted to execute parallelly on a different uh, mobile browser or different operating system. That time it will help actually, Selenium grid. Now we'll start with the Selenium advantages actually. What is the advantages of a Selenium? So first, if you see, Selenium support a multiple operating system. What it mean by multiple operating system? And so you can install on a Windows, Ubuntu, Linux, or Mac exactly. These support a multiple operating system. Multiple OS support Selenium, and it will support a multiple languages actually. Selenium support most of the language like nowadays. So how many languages support? It will support Java, it will support Ruby, it will support Python, it will support C Sharp, it will support, yep, Perl. I don't know. I think it supports so many languages like C Hash, Java, Python, Ruby. These so many languages it will support. So Selenium actually. You guys able to see this whatever I'm writing, right? CS, Python, everything.
Yes.
Yep. So multiple operating system it will support, multiple language it will support, multiple browser also it will support exactly. Like Selenium support. So as of now, so many browsers actually. One is what browser it will support, like browser. It will support Firefox, it will support Fire, it will support Edge, it will support Chrome, it will support Safari, it will support one more browser is there, Opera, and I think I'll take one more here. It will support Opera. These browsers also it will support Opera browser. It will most of the people install in Ubuntu actually, not Windows and Mac also. Opera is the help of combination of Ubuntu and Opera. They related to Selenium support, and one more is the headless browser actually. Headless browser. These are the browser it will support in Windows you can support Edge, Firefox, Chrome, Mac, Safari, and Opera. Means combination I'm telling. There also in Mac also you can install what you call Chrome, Firefox browser you can install. There also you can support. And Windows by default most of the people use uh, sorry, Ubuntu, Opera will be most of the people will use there exactly. So there also is browser is also it will support. And what is the again one was, and it is first thing is that is a open source actually. You no need to pay anything to amount in order to do the automation with help of a Selenium. That's the main advantage, that is a open source. It support multiple language, it support multiple browser, it supports what you call multiple operating system, and it has a huge user base actually. User base, what do you mean by huge user base? So many people are using a Selenium exactly. If you stuck somewhere, so you can get easily help in a Google. If you search, if stuck somewhere how to do these kind of a scenario automation, you can do easily exactly with help of a uh, uh, Google exactly. Huge user base, these are the main advantages of a Selenium exactly. These are. What is the disadvantages of a Selenium? If take any tools, so there will be the advantages, there will be the disadvantages tool exactly. That is the one thing it will be in market. So disadvantages is like it won't allow you to do the what you call it won't support a desktop application. If you wanted to do automation application, it won't support a desktop, so it will support only web application. That is the one disadvantage. And you cannot do QR code or barcode or image comparison with help of a Selenium exactly. This is a one disadvantage actually. And with respect to, there is no what to call dedicated customer support. If you stuck anywhere, you can't get a dedicated customer support like paid version. So you have to search and you have to spend some times and you have to analyze and yourself you have to do. That is the one thing. This is the disadvantages. Till now, any doubt?
No doubt, sir.
Yep. Yeah. Now you know exactly what is mean by Selenium, why you are using, how, why we are automating and basic. So now we'll start with the setup actually, how to set up. What are the large things required to do the setup actually. First, it will require a Java and Selenium jars and drivers, jars, drivers, then IDE. These things it will require exactly to set up a Selenium. First you have to install a Java. So you can go to here, what to call Google, search Java install, then you will get a Oracle website, then you can install any Java exactly. Once you install Java, take that part and set the environment variable. 1 minute, I will show you exactly. What you guys able to see?
The screen of your desktop.
Yeah, sure. Okay. Just after installing Java, you have to take that particular path wherever it is installed. Then you have to set an environment variable exactly. So if you don't know, just you type environment variable here in Google. So with respect to Mac and what you call Windows installation is same exactly. So
Uh, Hmm.
Go to environment variable, click environment variable. So if you come here, I will set, see, see, this is the path exactly where I installed the Java exactly. C program file common Oracle Java. This is the path exactly. Just you,
DD ఆడబోడంటే గుమ్మ అయిపోతాయి కదా.
I think, can you mute somebody who's talking? So like this, you have to set the environment variable. Once you set the environment variable, you can see whether Java installed or not. Just type command cmd Java. Please try to install actually today. If you got stuck with tomorrow, I will can help you exactly if you stuck somewhere installation exactly. So you can see like this version actually Java whether installed or not. This is the version I installed 1.8. You can install whichever version you want. There are now 1.82. There are so many, is there 18. So many versions are available in Java. Just go and search like this. Like install. See, you have to go to Java. You able to see this Chrome driver right now? Sorry, Firefox, Chrome.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, you'll see now Java 18 is there. Java, just you see Java 15, whichever language compatible na, you take. Yep, go to here Java 17 or 18. Just download from click here, and you can download exactly whichever you want exactly this, based on your corresponding operating system, whether Mac, Windows, whichever you have. You can again 34-bit, 64-bit. Just you click and it will uh, download the exe file. Then you double click, then click next. It will install actually. Once you install, you set an environment variable that is necessary in order to run in Selenium. Yep. That is Java installation done. Again, after that, what you have to do, you need a Selenium jar files actually in order to run. There are Selenium jar files you have to do. Then drivers.
ఏంది?
See, if you see Selenium, you go here, this website. This is official website, what you call. It's selenium.dev.it is the official website. So you can see the versions available. Then what you call this driver also we have to install for Internet Explorer driver. You have to, if you wanted to launch in internet, you have to explicitly download these drivers also. Then what you call drivers also you have to install. Then apart from that, you have to get the jar files. If you click here, just it will, the latest jar file it will install 4.2. This one, drivers also you need to install exactly. We'll go here somewhere. So if you see here, these many languages will support Selenium. She has Ruby, Python, JavaScript also it will support actually. These many languages it will support. So you can go this is the official website actually. See, can you see here? These many browsers it will support. See, operating system, Microsoft, Mac, Linux. Just you have to go and download these jar files and driver files here. Then once setup done, we can launch the what you call this iDriver only install actually. If you need previous releases versions, you can go here, click here. You'll get so whatever the previous release versions are there. Now current stable one is the 4.2.0. These are Selenium jar files versions actually. These things required. So once you tomorrow try to install this setup actually. If you for what you call face difficulty in installing, then I help you after end of the class actually. Then we can make a setup ready for you guys if somebody is doing.
One question: which version of Selenium we are going to learn?
Now this is a Selenium 4. People will call as it is Selenium 4 only. Selenium 4 we can start. This web driver only is they call, whichever we are learning, right? That is a web driver only, Selenium 4. Yep. So that installation once, then apart from that, what you required, one ID is required actually one ID is required. So ID you can use any ID whichever you are comfortable. There are so many IDs as of now installed Eclipse. People will use Eclipse, people use NetBeans, then what you call IntelliJ. There are so many IDs are there. So whichever you are comfortable with respect to IDs, you can install these IDs also. These many things basic what you call installation setup actually. Any doubt with respect to help of installation? What and all things required for Selenium to set up?
No doubt.
Okay. Yep. So now what we'll do, right? We'll start now we'll start launching the browser in Chrome browser in Selenium exactly. So now I opened Eclipse exactly. So if you have Eclipse icon, just open and click workspace, whichever by default. So I will show you first how it will, if you install. How it will come, right? It will launch one thing exactly. So if you click here Eclipse like this, so it will open. Once you install Eclipse, you like whichever the workspace you give, by default it is there. You can take a workspace actually. That will come. Mine I created on workspace name. You can give your name also, any name, or by default it will come like this what to call Eclipse workplace. It will come by default. You click on a next launch exactly. So mine is just I created this workspace automation plan. So how you have to create this, wherever you wanted to go, right? Just go here somewhere, create a one folder name, and like how I created. See, like I created one folder, you take this path and paste there exactly. Like copy and paste. It will by default, whichever next time onwards, wherever you are working, it will come and save your local exactly. It will come. So just I created on workspace. So launch. Yeah, it will come like this exactly as soon as you launch. So required. Yeah. So if you're new to Eclipse, so I will tell you how to create a project exactly, what you have to do, right? Just I will, for your purpose, I will create one more time exactly. Go to new project. Here project is there. Select a Java project. Click next. Give the project, give the project name. So it should make some what you call meaningful name you can give exactly. Now I will give thing. Just I will give on project name. So sorry. Here there will be the next button actually. Can you see guys? Down there is a next button. One minute if is. Can you see here next next button here? Just click on a finish. So it will create a one click no. It will create on project. Then after that, what you have to do, right? Create on package name. Actually, it is not required, but it will be helpful in later onwards. Create new. Go to one create a package. So package name it will start like com dot test. You can give anything. Package name finish. Yeah, now created. Then after that, you have to create a one class name exactly. Class like launch launch browser. So you select this public static void menu as of now, because in order to execute the Java program, this main method is required actually. So that's the reason I am selecting this public static void menu. So finish. So yeah, now your project is created successfully. So now it came to here exactly. Like this, you have to create. If somebody know how to don't know how to create a project in Eclipse actually, you try. If you facing difficulties, so tomorrow I can explain you again exactly. So how to create a project and all if you're facing anything. So now we have created a project actually, like created a launch browser project actually. So once you create launch browser, you have to like click on right click on the project, go to build path, config build path you have to do. So config build path once you have to do, right, you have to add external jar files. I told you, right, we have to download Selenium jar files and server files, client library. So for different client, for different language, different client library is available. Now if you can see Selenium Java, we are using Selenium Java, so I downloaded this Selenium Java client library. If you are using Selenium C sharp, there is a Selenium C sharp client library is available that you have to download. If you are using Ruby, different what you call will come. If you are using Python, different client library will come. Exactly this one you have to download, and this is a jar files where I showed that 4.1, that one jar file you have to download. Apart from that, you have to download what you call drivers also. What and all drivers you need to execute. Once you execute a driver, I will show you, which and all driver you wanted to execute exactly. Firefox, Chrome, IE. So those drivers also required. I have downloaded driver again. Same thing, just you what to call, go here, Chrome driver, you search exactly Chrome driver for Selenium, it will give path. See, like Chrome driver download for Selenium, just you have to go here. Then here how you have to download, right, you have to go to and see your browser version. Actually based on whichever browser version is available, right, corresponding that browser version you can download. Exactly, it's like 100 I think. As of now mine is 100. If I open again, it will update, so that I have to download that latest version. You see, according to your go to Chrome driver here setting, about, you'll, if you go about, you will get a search about, you will get to which version it is available. Chrome driver you can download based on the corresponding which versions match. Actually same thing with respect to Firefox, IE, everything is just again you search what you call Chrome here Firefox driver for Selenium, just you have to search and you have to get like this. You have to search and you have to download. Exactly. This is not, this is not. Yeah, here it is just available. You can download exactly Firefox, whichever it is there, just selenium.web. This is there. If you search Google, directly it will get install browser drivers. See, these drivers, corresponding driver link, you can direct download. Exactly these drivers will come actually as a zip. Exactly once you zip, you can extract. After extracting, you will get a file like this. See, like this you will get Chrome driver, whichever, whether it is 64-bit or 32-bit you download. Then after extracting, you will get like this. For if it is Chrome driver, it will come as a Chrome driver. For IE driver, it will come as a IE driver, or Edge driver it will come. For Firefox, it will come as a Zico driver. Exactly, it will extract like this. Exactly. So now we have downloaded everything, setup is ready actually. So once setup is ready, we have to start. How we should know now how to launch the browser. First thing, if you are executing the application, what the first thing we'll do, we'll launch the web driver browser. Actually same thing we are doing now. It is a your manual test case come into picture. Exactly same thing we will do automation also, how we are doing manually. So we are writing down the step by step. Actually first how we will do manual, same thing I'm doing automation. If you take a example, anything you wanted to execute in a web application, you have to test something. First thing you will do, launching the browser. Same thing I'm doing the launching the browser. So in order to launch the browser, first we have to set the syntax. Actually the syntax of this setting, what you call driver in Selenium was like system dot, you have to type like system dot, then if you dot, you will get exactly what you call draw suggestions box. You will get, you can see here on system dot set property. Can you see here set property? So basically it is a string and key value. This is a key and this is a value. Exactly. So we are telling Selenium system dot set for, if example, if you wanted to set to what call for Chrome driver, you have to like web driver dot Chrome dot driver, you have to like, then you have to give the path of the driver where you have stored. Actually if you see, I showed you, right, Chrome driver dot exe, there I showed exactly. This is a path of the driver. For you have to give like this. For example, same thing, If you wanted to give what you call Firefox, again this is also same, just what you call here instead of Chrome, what it will come is like Gco will come here instead of Chrome. Gco driver will come. Same thing here. You have to give Firefox driver path exe exactly. Then if you wanted to execute on Edge, same thing will come here. WebDriver dot edge dot driver you have to give. Then Edge driver path you have to give exactly. If you wanted to execute in